Good, right? Yep. Excellent. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, I'm back. Ooh, that could be scary. The mic doesn't like that. Playing with the mic. Can you help me with that? Thanks. So welcome everybody, Memorial Day. Look at that. This is where the notes come from me. I was reading a book and ideas came for me for the service, so I wrote it on here and ripped out the page of the book to come here today. That's how I roll. That's how I roll here, you know. But I do a lot of meditating to get to this point here today. So Memorial Day, this day of remembering those who died for our freedom. I have to say I'm a pacifist. I'm working for a Department of Peace because I think we should get a balance it out here, you know. But it's true. We live in a country where we're allowed to do things like gathering of light. And you're allowed to have your own day. And this is something to honor and to think about. That there are sacrifices that are made for us to be able to sit where we're sitting and to do the things that we're doing. But there are also sacrifices made in all of these faith traditions. There are sacrifices made by all of the spiritual people that came before us and allowed us to be here right now. And I like to add them into our Memorial Day as well. Those that were willing to also give up their lives, give up some things that are going on for them so that we can all learn from them, right? To think about that. We have a cross here. This is Jesus, right? Was willing to hold true to his principles and not worry what happened. You know, we have all the other traditions here. There are stories of all of them in all of the different traditions. Many Sikh gurus that have been killed to keep that because they're trying to be true to their faith. Many have died in the pursuit of keeping alive their truth. Buddhists, right? In Tibet, right? They had to run away because many of them just killed in order to keep their faith. The Memorial Days are remembering what it's like, what we have and why we have it here, and sitting there and honoring that, going a little deeper and saying, you know what? Sometimes it takes a little bit of pain and sacrifice for us to have the things that we have, and not to take that for granted. That's important. That's really important. Because when you go on your spiritual journey, what happens is that your ego comes in and wants to go, nah, 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 nah. Me. And you know, life isn't easy. We love nature, right? Today's a beautiful day. We want to be out there. But it takes work being out in nature, right? It takes work. It takes work doing that garden, digging and being there. It takes some sacrifice, so showing up, getting down on your hands and knees, pulling out the weeds and sorting through the things of life. It takes work. For those in 12-step programs, you're told, it works if you work it. Not it just magically works. It works if you work it. But work it, you're worth it. Right? Some sort of sacrifice, some sort of work in here is involved. A yoga practice. Yoga doesn't feel good when you first start. Oh, you can't go. Ow! That's all your body says. It screams. But as you keep going, as you do that vigilance, as you take those chances, as you keep showing up, what happens? Movement, flexibility, strength in your body and your soul, your spirit starts to soar. These are things to think about. You know, what kind of sacrifices, you know, and what happens when we don't make those sacrifices? What happens? I wanted to specifically put in something that you can take home. Don't leave these programs here today. This is a great excerpt from The Untethered Soul. And it's actually some actual stuff that you can do to help get beyond the pain in your life. It's an actual something to take with you. And to think about that and to have that with you. And also, too, to remember the sacrifices that people make all the time for all of us to be able to come here and sit down here and be here. Who are the people that wake up early in the morning to set up everything to get here? Who are the people who countlessly stay late so that we can clean up? Who are the people who have given up the different days of their ability to spend this day and make lots of money? The Saturday practice is a really lucrative thing, right? Every time. That's his job, but he gives it up every week, every time to be here, to share that love, to share that light, to share that passion, to grow spiritually, taking that time. There's so many of you. There's so many people that are willing to make the sacrifices. The biggest sacrifice of all is just letting go of that self-image. That all important, as we always talk about, that ego, letting that go. Course in Miracles says the only sacrifice we need to make is sacrifice. Because when you're not connected spiritually, when you're connected to that little self of who we think we are sacrificing the grandeur of the glory of the divine that we are meant to live in and to have in our lives. And that all those little menial sacrifices that we make by showing up and by being there and by doing those things, what they do is they transform you. They transform you and they give you that sense to remember who you are. They are those little tools. Every time somebody helps do something for another, every time you get out of yourself and show up for somebody else or do a little thing that helps to build, to create, to grow, what happens is that you shed all of these places, you shed all of that stuck energy, you shed all of that false self to be more and more of what you're truly meant to be. Wow! That's amazing! That's worth the effort! The other sacrifice we make is holding on. The mental turmoil that we go through, holding on to resentments and problems and future projections and where we got to be and what's going on. Why do we start this service with getting present with the moment, with calling in the four directions, by understanding the power and the glory of this moment and the gifts that are given to you right here and right now. Right here, right now. It's amazing. It's beautiful. You're beautiful. We're beautiful. We are beauty itself. We are the glory of creation itself. And that is eternal. That is eternal. And that's the wonder of even our meditation today. Do not stand at my grave and weep. No. The glory of creation is eternal and goes on. And we expand out into that as we're able to connect to that. But it takes work. Yeah. It takes some other stuff. It takes some other stuff. So if you look at the words of wisdom, and we see that first paragraph there where it's talking about this pain, this psychological pain that all of us carry around. And that, the biggest one, is I am who I think I am. It's the biggest pain we all have. Because in the entire soul, he begins with asking it, well, who are you? What am I going to say? I'm this body? Am I this person, right? The name with the letters? That's just letters. Who are you? Who am I? Am I the personality? Well, if you knew me 30 years ago, kind of different personality. If you knew different things was going on, like, who is you? Who are we? Getting in touch with that eternal spirit. It was funny because I work really hard all week to try There's a little story of the Buddha Gandhi. This was Gandhi. And Gandhi was asked, and the kids might know this story from we did a little play on it, but what they were asked, the mother wanted to go to Gandhi to ask her son to stop eating so much sugar. He was eating so much sugar, it was just affecting his life. So she traveled all the way to, walking, traveling to see Gandhi, and she sees Mahatma Gandhi, and she asks him, Gandhi, oh, please, can you please tell my son to stop eating sugar? He says, come back in a month. So she's traveled all the way back, and then she comes all the way back a month later, and she says to him, oh, we're back here now, and she asks him, can you tell my son to stop eating sugar? And he looks at her, and the son, and he goes, stop eating sugar. She goes, that's it? She thought he was going to do something, a little bit more. She did all this traveling. I said, why didn't you just do that last time when he was here? Because the last time I was eating sugar. So to be authentic with your message. So what I'm saying is that I work really hard. I'm looking at this and saying, okay, now we put this in the program. Got to put it into action. Got to make the sacrifice. Got to see what's going on in my life. Where are the psychological pains so that I can stand before you and say, yes, do this. Do that process that's here. Look at that. Look at that process about feeling the pain and allowing that pain to come through. Not to judge. This isn't about judgment. We're so blessed. We're so lucky to be where we are that we can have the luxury of doing these processes. Right? So in gratitude for that, going through that process and allowing, okay, let some psychological pain. And isn't life wonderful? Don't you have some wonderful people that just show you, when you think you're all good and smiley and free, they just show up in your life, right? Those wonderful, I'm sure their names pop right to your head. And they just come right in, oh, that one makes you feel like, oh, it's like, oh yeah, them. They're your savior, they're the ones. They're the one that's showing us what's inside of us. That sneaky psychological pain that's being hidden and pushed down inside of us. So do the process, allow it. See the judgments we have, see the resentments we hold, see the things that are going on. Allow it to come up. Allow it to be there. In a safe spiritual environment, not face to face. This is spiritual work. This is inner work. These are the things that we do. And this is the process that we have here. Allowing that to come in. Relaxing our body. Finding it in your body. Just let it go. Let it go. Releasing it. Letting it go. Watching it. Moving it. Breathing through it. Open up. Open up to remembering what really matters. Remembering what really matters. And really wanting that place beyond the other stuff. You have to want it. We need to be willing. Willing to remember the silence, the stillness, that place within each one of you that connects you to all the beauty and glory that I've been talking about. And then you can hear it in the music. You can see it in the landscape. You can see it in the eyes of another. You can really, truly be and live in this. And then there's a wanting in your soul to give and to be there. And to truly, truly know that in all that giving you are growing and you are becoming more and more of what you're truly meant to be. It is something to truly remember. And guess what, folks? When you're connected to that, you have energy. Whoa! So the sacrifice I make in getting up early and getting myself, guess what that gives me? The thing that I wanted all along when I thought I could sleep late. How many of you have slept a long time and then all of a sudden woke up, you were tired the whole day? What's going on here? I slept for so long. Why am I so tired? It's that psychological avoidance. Come into this to live in this and to see. Once you reach this state, you will never have to worry about anything again. The force of creation will create with you. I like that. I think that's something worth remembering. I think that's something worth working towards. I think that's something worth putting my effort in. Every time we light a candle, every time we move a chair, every time we help another, it is an effort towards our individual growth, our individual connection. Don't forget, remember what it's really for. And remember to grow with it, to flourish. We'll provide you many opportunities. It always is here for us. This day, let us remember with gratitude, because you are the glory of the divine.